I'm Doug Smith, head football coach at Appomattox County High School. We've won 5 out of the last 7 years at the state level. We won the state championship. It's a blessing to win 1, but to win 5 should let you know how serious we take football here in Appomattox. If you're a wrestler, you go first. Wrestlers, y'all go first because y'all get to practice. I noticed right after the first year of coaching that kids needed something much more than football. Football is, for us, is a ministry, for sure.
Well, I'm Micah. I'm a freshman from Appomattox, and this is my first year playing football. This school's new to me, and I really like it. And I like to hunt and fish and country boy, living like that. So it was in 8th grade when I got into some trouble at my Christian school and I got suspended for a little while. Like everything just hit me and stuff, and I was just broke down. And a guy came to me, and then I decided, I was like, well, I gotta like just get through this year. I just didn't really care at that point. I wanted to play football. I knew that's what I wanted to do in high school. I wanted to play football, and after I saw like Coach Smith and what he does for Appomattox, I really thought that I wanted to go to Appomattox.
You know, we started off in 2013 with a group of about 4 kids that wanted to do a little Bible study after practice. We're every week meeting and eating and talking about the Lord and reading the Bible, and kids, you know, said, you know, we need to get more, we need to have more impact on our team, and we need to have more impact in the school, in the community. And they're kind of going around, and this one kid, Philip Fleshman, says, you know, Coach, you need to have more impact on the teachers. I was like, yeah, you're right, and the coaches. I was like, you're right. And then later it comes back to him and he says, we need to have impact in the world. And they all kind of laughed and chuckled, and I kind of laughed too.
Coach Smith is definitely a role model for myself and anybody who's on the football team. He's just a great display of how somebody should live their life. It's not all about football all the time. It's more about like developing young men and how we're supposed to live and how we're gonna have these responsibilities and how we're gonna deal with stuff like that. So he connects with us on a much deeper level than just X's and O's.
My name is Kevin Fitch. I'm a sophomore at Appomattox County High School. Last year was my first year playing football, so pretty nervous, kind of scared. First couple weeks started feeling welcome to the team and feeling like part of the family that we are now.
You know, then we got a guy like Colin Slagle who goes and gets a knee injury his freshman year. Sophomore year, another knee injury, the other one. The next year, junior year, another knee injury. Doesn't play at all. And this kid has been wanting to play football since he was, you know, he's been playing all his life, but he wanted to play high school ball. All those years that he couldn't play, he stayed on our sideline, he filmed, he got water, he got things for kids. He stayed with them at every practice. He understood this is not easy, he hated it, but this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where you serve, you know, and God blessed him this year. He did some amazing things in games this year that allowed us to win.
Like right after I got in surgery, I wasn't able to go to school yet, and it was just hurting really bad. It was really tough every year watching people play, watching all my friends play that I grew up with in high school and dreaming of playing with them.
Praying for you, buddy. Hey, come on, man. I miss you, man. You gotta get better.
I got saved when I was 9 years old. What really brought me to Christ and what really like gave me a personal relationship with him is feeling like I had to rely on him, which happened to be through him, you know, making me go through painful things and kind of suffering with those leg injuries. You know, when he takes stuff away, you realize, oh, wait. So that was really like my turning point. That's what really helped me develop my relationship with him and understand his love for me.
You know, right around 2015, we started basing all of our themes on God's Word. We were at camp, and one of the verses was talking about when Jesus was being questioned, which was the most important commandment. And before he said love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. He said, the Lord God is one. And so I'm laying in bed before this season thinking about there's power in one God. We get into the playoffs, and this school has never made it past the third game of the playoffs in the history of the school. And guess what? We're in that third game, and we're playing against Richland. All of a sudden, it's 8 minutes to go, and they score again, and now we're down 2 touchdowns. We got together, got tight, and I didn't know it at that point, but you see it in videos, this PO1 chant in the crowd is just getting louder and louder and louder. And when you think back, that PO1 where it came from, power of one God, the power of one God. 2 plays later we score and we went in overtime. That was the time when so many of our kids took that next step of, you know what, it's not over. Anybody around here will tell you that that game is basically the turnaround of this whole team.
Torn now, the Raiders of Appomattox have won 5 titles in 6 seasons, but that is not nearly the heart of this story.
Smith was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a cancer of the plasma cells. It was news that shook the team.
You know, back in 2020, I was going through something. I didn't know what it was, and I went and got checked out. And I don't wish COVID on anybody, but thank God we had it because I was able to get looked at and found out I had cancer.
When they first found out, the quietest 50 teenage boys ever could be for 15 minutes.
We were all quiet. I was crying. It hurt me to my core.
I actually believe God has used that to make death and life real to some of our kids. With me coming back and being on the team and able to share with them some of the things I've been through, it just allowed us to draw closer, and it allowed many of our kids to look at life a little different.
You develop a bond with your teammates and your coaches that is way beyond football.
You want to be the best? You want to be number one? Then you need to be a servant. And that same recipe our kids have learned is what's been our success.
Spiritually, this year was the most people I've ever seen come to Christ in a single season for us. Just being able to do that through football is it just shows, you know, how much we can accomplish through like a sport.
I felt like I was always in a deep, empty hole with no one to talk to, no one around me, and sometimes even ready to die. In my first couple weeks of practice, there was prayers after every practice, before every practice. We had FCA meetings, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
So this was my first year of school, and I didn't really know a lot of people. I didn't know who to go to for some stuff. And I went in the weight room, and I met this guy named Colin. I haven't really talked to him much because he was a senior. So I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, I'm struggling with some stuff," and he knew something was wrong with me. He looked at me. He was like, "You all right?" And I wasn't myself, and he helped me through some stuff. And I think that he was a big blessing in my life that he came through.
Traylon, Colin Slagle, and Jacob Williams, they really moved me to become more of a man of Christ and like start giving my life to him. And I feel like now I can go talk to God at any time I need to.
We were at FCA, and the guy was praying for us, and he just told us, he was like, "Does anybody want to raise their hand and just come clean to Christ?" And in that moment, I just felt like Jesus was telling me, just do it. Everything was just going wrong for me, and I just needed to change, and I felt him pulling at me, and I just decided, I was like, all right, I gotta make this decision.
And they wanted everybody to try to get baptized, and I was one of those people that was like, I want to do it. So I'm ready for it.
A lot of people, when they get saved, they're kind of unsure, like, hey, what do I do now as a Christian? And I think this is the most important part. I think that, you know, doing a Bible study would really help them kind of like know how they're supposed to act and really understanding and fully grasping like the gift that God's given us. And I know everybody who's gotten baptized is going to be coming to the Bible study, but it's open to the whole school.
We get a text from Pastor Jonathan Watson, who's right in Appomattox, who went to Brazil to work with an American football team. They knew of this PL1 team in Appomattox. So he got the chance to speak to them because of it. And he sends me back a message that says, Coach, tell your team and you that you have an impact in the world. The same words that kid said, and I was almost shaking. I said, do you see what this says? Do you read this? It's the same thing you said 4 years ago. We need to have impact in the world. And here's a guy that's over in Brazil saying you're having an impact in the world. I know what our expectations are. Our expectations are we're gonna give everything we got, we're gonna believe, and we're gonna win. But we lost the state semis. But I told them we won something much greater than a state championship this year. We had life changes this year. We had life changes for eternity. Somewhere around 18 kids get their life to Christ this year. And I'm not sure how many are getting baptized today, but that is much more valuable than any state championship, any ring that any of these guys will ever wear, because it's forever. And that's what we won this year.